When you're young, you learn, oh, one day you're gonna die. Like, why didn't I get the chance to sign up to this? Because my gosh, that's a heavy price to pay. And two, your body loves to store fat. It loves it. It's its favorite thing in the world. Okay, it's nice and simple, my friends. If you read something on the internet, should you believe it? And I, Simon Miller, I'm here to tell you no. Here is the deal. We are going to take a totally different tack with this today, because when I was perusing that there old World Wide Web, I did indeed find this article, which is about Hugh Jackman and how he's getting absolutely jacked for the brand new Deadpool Wolverine film. Wolverine film. Wolverine. And this is what he said. So the headline is Hugh Jackman shares Wolverine training picture as he takes on 6,000 calories a day. Hugh Jackman has shared photos of his intense training regime for Deadpool 3, with the actor consuming over 6,000 calories per day as he bulks up for the film. Whilst his character may possess mutant powers, sadly, Jackman does not, in case you thought he did, with the X-Men star instead training the old-fashioned way, and we've already done a video about that. So we should start with the picture. There he is in the gym with, could be his wife, I don't know. It's not Ryan Reynolds, I can tell you that for free. And he is mid-workout, he's got vascularity everywhere. If you look at his legs, doesn't look like he's training leg day, but that's okay. You don't have to do leg day, should you? Yes, but it's your life. You're allowed to do whatever you want. And he goes on to say, talking to Instagram, Jackman shared a work-in-progress photo of himself as he trains for the iconic role. Jackman later showed off his shredded biceps in a separate post as the Van Helsing actor taunted Reynolds in his caption. And actually, when we look at the second one, he looks far smaller than he did in the first one, which is why it's always about lighting, it's always about angles, it's always about purse workout, it's always about pump. Remember that. Just because you see something on the internet doesn't mean that's how someone looks when they're walking around. That is very, very important. Store it in your brain. The interesting part is after a lot of chat about Reynolds and Jackman, all of a sudden, they just throw in, the veteran actor and hero has been consuming over 6,000 calories per day to fuel his training regime as he prepares for a return to Wolverine. Now, I Googled this because I hadn't heard it, and the only thing I can find is apparently he did the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They talked about getting into Wolverine shape, and he said slowly he will build up to the 6,000 calories per day he will need to consume ahead of filming. Now, he also said this back in 2013, because I found a story about that as well, but I can't actually find him saying these words.
How many like chicken carcasses are we going to find in your green room after this?
It's 6,000 calories. It's about 6,000 calories a day.
What are we supposed to do, 2,000?
I think at the moment I'm building up. I'm like 4,500, 5,000 calories. I wore a heart rate monitor as Harold Hill.
I've looked. There's every chance that this may not have happened. And there was also another article that talked about the fact that he is wearing a heart monitor. I mean, that's pretty good. We should all do that. Protect your heart. But I was able to find an apparent quote, again, because I can't see it in video form. It's 6,000 calories, Jackman said, about the amount of food he consumes on a daily basis. It's about 6,000 calories a day, and I'm building up. I'm like 4,500, 5,000 a day, Jackman explained. And I wore a heart rate monitor as Harold Hill, because my trainer said, I need to know what I'm working with here, because I'm trying to bulk you up. I burned 1,500 calories in the show. All right, he starred in a musical. Apparently, he burned 1,500 calories in the show 8 times a week. I question that. So he goes, oh, you got to eat. So I was eating 4,500 calories a day. It was not pretty. Now I'm just eating and training. Right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take him at his word, right? That is what we're going to do. Because every other video that you will see on this, well, people going, oh, it's rubbish, it's nonsense, and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Sometimes that doesn't help, right? It just confuses you, because every time you do see an article like this, you don't know what to believe and you don't know what to put stock in. So I am here to come at it from a 180 point of view. Let's say that's what he's doing. Let's say he was burning 1,500 calories during that stage show, which he may have been. It sounds preposterous to me, because even when you get on a cardio machine, people think, oh, I burnt 800 calories because the machine told me so.
Just use that as a barometer. As long as you're burning around that every day or more.
You're probably not actually burning what it says, but you know you're still in the same ballpark, and that's why that figure is pretty good. But I'm just here to tell you this. If Hugh Jackman is indeed eating 6,000 calories a day, that doesn't mean you should be eating 6,000 calories a day. And I will tell you this. No matter who you are, unless you are Michael Phelps, go look up Michael Phelps' training regime. I think he was having like 12,000 calories or something nuts, but he was also working out for about 8 hours a day. So if you are doing that much exercise and you have that much outlay, then of course you're going to have to ensure the calories get back in. But if you are just trying to put on some size and you're doing the traditional, I do a little bit of cardio, I do a little bit of weightlifting, and I focus on my diet, you do not need 6,000 calories a day. All that is going to happen is you are going to get fat. Doesn't matter if you're eating chicken and broccoli, doesn't matter if you're eating rice and beef, doesn't matter if you're just eating Greek yogurt, 0% fat. Eventually, you get to a calorie intake that your body cannot handle. Once again, you are not burning these calories off so it has to store as fat. That's just what your body does. This is why it sucks to be a human. When you're young, you learn, oh, one day you're going to die. You're like, why didn't I get the chance to sign up to this? Because my gosh, that's a heavy price to pay. And two, your body loves to store fat. It loves it. It's its favorite thing in the world. Anything that looks and tastes nice is like, I am now going to hang around. But you just don't need to do it. It's not going to help you. You're not all of a sudden going to look like Wolverine. You're not all of a sudden going to look like The Rock. You're not going to look like Chris Hemsworth in Thor. You're not going to look like, I don't know, Captain America, Chris Evans in the movie Captain America. It stands to reason. All you're going to do is overstress your system. Your cortisol levels are going to be through the roof. You're going to feel sluggish. Your workouts are probably going to suffer. And there ain't no way you're digesting this or having enough time to digest this. So that's another reason when you go to the Fitness Palace of Love, t-shirts available now, you're just not going to be able to utilize it in the way that you think. And I tell you how I know this, because when I was younger, I used to buy into this too. Everybody was eating so many calories. So I was like, well, the reason I don't look good is because I'm not eating enough food. Now, to tie it into my own personal experience over the last few months, when I did get my trainer on board, Salute to Ryan, we've talked about him many a time. He is absolutely awesome. I'm actually eating less food, and people come up to me when they see my videos and go, Simon, you look bigger. Because it's all a damn magic trick, right? The more fat you kind of sculpt off the body, the bigger you look, especially when you're running around in your pants, which is what I do on a weekly basis when I am doing my professional wrestling. All these articles are going to come out, and I tell you what, I'm not saying that Hugh Jackman is doing this, I'm just talking in general. These articles do come out because it makes for a good headline. And if you want to read that headline, you're essentially getting free advertising throughout it, because now you know that Wolverine's coming out, you know he's going to be in Deadpool 3, and whatever else they want to get in there. Maybe that's why he said it, so he could also promote his musical. I don't hold that against Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman seems like a lovely stand-up guy, and more power to him. But I sometimes think the ownership is on us, right? The onus is on us. We have to be able to take all of this as entertainment, take all of it with a pinch of salt. And I totally understand that your training and your weightlifting, your bodybuilding, and your cardio and being in good shape is important to you, but I want you to focus on those last two words. To you. To you, not to anybody else, not to Hugh Jackman, not to your mate Mary, not to your mum Joan. It's irrelevant what they think, and it's irrelevant what they say. If you think you're on the right track, if you are going to be happier with how you look given the diet you're taking, of course you need to educate yourself, and of course you need to take this information in, because science and bodybuilding in general is learning and evolving all the time. But ultimately, you know you don't need this much food, because if you did, you'd already know it, and I bet that is not the case at all. So there, just always keep that in mind. Always remember that you have to go by your own genetics and your own chemical makeup. And you can read this stuff until the cows come home. That's okay. It's an interesting article. It's an interesting story. But don't all of a sudden copy and paste it into your own life. We see it too many times. What you're doing, if you are seeing results and if you are happy with it, or as happy as you can be in this crazy game, then that is the right thing to do. And I would implore you from the bottom of my tum-tum and the bottom of my tootsie toes to just keep doing it. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Get the bell ding ding so you know the videos are going live. There will be a video on the screen. That's what I made you want you to do. It's over there somewhere, maybe over here. Point is, please just give it a click. Also, grillermind.com/Simon. Use code Simon to get 10% off. These are supplements I use, and yes, I do get a little bit of money. So if you do want to try them, you can use my code or the link in the description below. It just helps me out a little bit, and I do appreciate it. On Instagram and Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm also on Cameo. If you want some kind of a shout out, just search for my name. Patreon.com/SimonMiller316 if you want to support me that way. And yes, t-shirts, merchandise, even more brand new tees at prowrestlingtees.com/Simon. And I've got brand new fitness tees coming to Sanson Athletics too. Use that link in the description down there for both of them, because once again, it's just a cool way to support the channel should you wish to do that. If not, I just appreciate you watching. As always, remember, pinch of salt, the irony. That's what you got to do with this stuff. See you soon.